I mean, like, oh my God, this is like, so the movie Clerks, isn't it? Like Dante's View Drive, Dante's View, Dante Hicks, Dante View, Dante, Jennifer Hickerson, Dante View, Dante View, Dante's View Drive. Isn't this like in Lost Hills? Isn't this like in the world of gaslighting people, what are the chances that Mike Huntley wanted me to come back from University of Colorado, start a internet host provider on Dante's View Drive? Mr. Egg people, get a T1 line, put the server in his mother's house, right next to Mitch Viner. What's the significance of Mitch Viner? I believe Mitch Viner's a lawyer too, but what's the significance of this? Try to make Kevin look like he conforms to media. What is the significance? Mitch Viner lived, I don't know if his family still lives here, on Dante's View Drive. There is a character in the movie Clerks of the guy holding the egg. He's holding the egg. He's taking like 10 hours to select a box of eggs that looks extremely close, a look-alike to Mitch Viner. And Mitch Viner was in my brother's class, Calabasas High. And down the street is Michael Huntley's mother's house, where Michael Huntley grew up. Right there. The gray house at the end of the cul-de-sac. And Mike Huntley wanted me to come back from college. Around 98 or something, with my family all manipulating. Start Signity Services. And before we had the office, where my father wanted me to be in his office building to stalk me with Patty Guggen and the rest of them, to take my switch and plug it into their office with Mike Huntley, so that they could put Trojans and shit on my computer and try to, get dirt on all the horrible things I'm supposedly doing, that they're going to make up and say what they need to say to get what they want, which is me dead and gone in a cage. Mike Huntley hanging out with Mitch Viner. Mitch Viner, friends of Jason Perlman. Jason and friends, death threats in 1988. Me and my friends are going to put you in a mental institution. Mike Huntley sort of out of the Calabasas High circle, a couple years older. Befriends me with his NSA shit and all that little mind paranoid schizo NSA shit and his NSA water filters and all that, trying to flip me out. I don't know what's going on. His dialogue about NSA carnivore system, all these things that I'm like, yeah, whatever. Don't have time for your wives' tales. Turns out that NSA really does do these things. And Mike Huntley kind of out of the loop, the circle of friends, but somehow weasels his way through Mitch Viner and Jason Perlman to Kevin Perlman, right? And then as I get older, he wants to be my friend, to set me up and frame me with the United States government, psychology community, my family, acting as a jailer. I want to start a company with you, but I'm your jailer, and I'm gonna try to get anything I can to use against you, and if I can't get anything, I'm just gonna fabricate it, right? Mike Huntley's statements: we're using the judicial system against you. Have a good life now. You had better live a careful life. You're too out of control for California. Dropping his papers on my desk: how to make people in South Korea mentally ill and kill them, or just mentally ill and rid them of the world, and you name it. And on top of all of that, with the conform to media tactics, which I traced down to 5 years old, my love for you is like a truck berserker. Would you like some making fuck berserker? There's a look-alike like Mitch Viner, who lived around there. Let's see. Around there. On Dante's View Road, with a character named Dante Hicks. Probably hinting about Jennifer Hickerson, right? To race the minds, like the Joe's Cartoon Frog in the Blender, which they were, Kevin, you gotta watch this because this is gonna be you. Okay, with Tim Thompson and Paul Humphrey and Tom Farley in our office, Signity Services, 2000, while working with Rody Morales and LAPD to try to plant drugs in my house, try to plant LAPD drugs, try to make me an LAPD drug mule to set me up and frame me. Mike Huntley, we should sign up to the gym. I want to work out. We should sign up by your house. Rody Morales, gym manager, is waiting there for me. Newspaper articles, daily newspaper articles. Rody Morales working with LAPD to catch someone who had killed someone, referring to someone who is living a double life from Europe. But however, maybe they're hinting that I think I'm Anders Grunberg, trying to make it look like I conform to Anders Grunberg, right? Okay. Who has supposedly killed someone with his car driving home from the beach stoned while coming back surfing, right? Okay, because after all, Rody Morales, in a literal form, is hinting about someone with no morals who did something on the road. But LAPD has proved my guilt because I have an opinion about them hunting me to kill me. Right? Okay. So, yeah, I know it makes no sense to someone who's sane and rational and not a child raping murderer. Okay. Now, you're going to say, Kevin, you're jumping. You're jumping from signs to, yeah, because it's not one thing. It's continuous daily things for 50 years. Okay, my father starts 1977, the movie Wizards. He tells Jason Perlman and friends show Kevin as many horror movies as you can. Kevin's crazy. He conforms to media. We gotta lock him away before something happens. Jason Perlman starts telling me stupid shit, like after watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Jeff Allen's mother chainsawed down his door with a heart. Okay, things like that, right? Because he wants me to talk about things said to me so that I look crazy. Why? Well, Jason threatens my life, 1988. Jumping in the way of the crowbar. Did he swinging at Rody Morales? Or sorry, he's swinging at. He's sort of lunging after and trying to swing at Gregoire because supposedly Jen Yang was cheating on Jason while he's at University of Colorado with his girlfriend Jennifer Yang, whose father is supposedly a judge or something. I think I was. It's hard to remember. And after me jumping and using my body as a shield, I'm a horrible guy and dangerous because I didn't call the cops. Okay, so the cops are going to be out there in that 10th of a second and not doing anything to my brother. Then the blood is thicker than water mafia speech, not in the context of, hey, you know, we're family, but you need to help me stalk Greg because we're family. And then the threats, me and my friend put me and my friends put a teacher in a mental institution, and we have a bug in your room, and we're listening to everything you do on the radio, trying to flip me out, but it sort of like, what are you babbling now? Okay, and to find out that he and his friends, Mike Huntley, Mitch Viner, Jeff Allen, whoever is in this circle, and my friends too, Brian Weaver, Paul Humphrey, Tom Hoke, Tom Farley, all one continuous. My friends in Colorado, Val Morozo, let's go to strip clubs. Kevin stalking strippers. Let's make money and go to strip clubs. Let's build websites to go to strip clubs. Kevin stalking strippers. Rody Morales, let's go to strip clubs. Kevin stalking strippers and porn stars. Number 4. Okay, Eric Christensen, 1991, let's go to strip clubs. Something about trespass and mad at me for my Lord's Gym t-shirt I bought in the city of Ashland, Oregon. I ruined his life, so he has to befriend me with Sherry Christensen of separate, not non-related. Working with San Diego Police Department and a girl named Jen, hinting about childhood things that are over dramatized to the billionth. Once again, events that no one was ever in danger, but me trying to isolate the situation of being punched in the back of the head or flicked in the ear 100 million times. And then look what Kevin did. He's got to pay. Okay, and why would Eric Christensen have any knowledge of Jason Perlman, an Alaskan exchange student at Ashland, Oregon, Southern Oregon State College, working the San Diego Police Department? We're not allowed to talk about these things. How dare you? How dare you ask these questions? How dare you? Just watch the movie Clerks over and over and look at a Mitch Viner lookalike staring at eggs. Now, when Starbucks is making up lies that I masturbated in the bathroom with Coffee Bean, whoa, separate incidences? Do they have spy cameras in the bathroom? Because how would they know whether anything's happening in those bathrooms or not, other than some homeless guy bird bathing for an hour, and that my longest time in the bathroom would probably be 2 minutes unless I wanted to test the waters and was in there for 5 minutes to see how these stalkers would react, right? Okay. So they're just making up shit, blasting it worldwide with the government and police to eradicate. Now, if the police, if my family, the police, and government are making up things without fact and proof and blasting it to the world, or trying to provoke me into reactions, get it out to the world, and ignore what's being done to me, then that is a mass mobbing to execute, conspiracy to commit murder or eradicate. Why would the judicial system and judges and police officers and worldwide groups ignore the entire story, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and just collect things they can use against the person, no matter how obvious it is, right? That I've proven 1 billion times over on video and you name it. Okay, so we're trying to make Kevin look like he conforms to Kelly Hatch at Southern Oregon State College, while bringing him down to San Diego, working with San Diego Police Department beyond any level of excessive, because some kid farted wrong. And they blackmailed me and threatened my life 100 million times that I have to confess that I'm a horrible monster and a violent paranoid schizo, and I've committed all these crimes I haven't committed, and you name it, in methods that look like he's over analytical and reading into things, right? Gaslighting, gang stalking. Dante's View, the movie Clerks. Why, if you haven't seen the movie, it's a late 90s movie. Mitch Viner lookalike holding the egg. The whole thing's with eggs, okay? When Twitter came to be and the eggs, and linking to Eric Johnson, Tom Farley egg mobbing Eric Johnson in A. Wright Middle School bus at Hidden Hills, waiting for the bus or coming home. And Tom Farley punching Eric Johnson in the back of the head. Tom Farley sitting on the horse trail, throwing eggs, hitting cars with eggs, okay? These are all things that they're trying to sort of cover up, and at the same time make Kevin look like he's... Hint, hint, you know what you did, Kevin. My father, quote unquote, you know what you did. My mother, your past caught up with you. Hint, hint, you know what you did. Egg, 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 egg. That wasn't me, that was Tom Farley. I didn't say anything. I just had 100,000 people say egg and keep hinting about eggs over and over, right? Okay, and then the Twitter things with eggs and the world of egg mobbing Kevin to... Kevin, you're Tom Farley. Kevin, you're Mike Huntley. Kevin, you're Jason Perlman. Kevin, you think you're black for buying a Corvette. You think you're Jada Fire, right? Okay? Because Jada Fire is the only person on the planet that has a Corvette. Okay, right? So you get the idea. Okay, so 5,000. This is I didn't. So I bring to you huge gaslighting tactic of Mike Huntley, Anita Perlman, Ron Perlman, Jason Perlman, the Perlman family with the government of the United States of America, psychology community, health industry, you fucking name it, and worldwide support. That starts in 1997. Kevin come back from Colorado. We're going to put our original server, here at Mike Huntley's mother's house, Dante's View Drive. And there's probably more to it with the server in the house, but I don't know, because there's a big thing about houses and computers and who fucking knows, right? Okay, so, and then all the doggies in a cage, right? The doggies in a cage because the mother and stepfather, I think, were breeding pit bulls, I think, and they had all these cages with the dogs in the cages like you were at a shelter. And I was like, why are all those doggies in cages? Well, why don't you let them run around, right? Well, they're breeding them to sell them, right? Okay, so I'm not supporting it here because I think that any animal should be roaming around and not have shock collars on it like Ron Perlman does to Rhoda, the Rhodesian Ridgeback, also linking the movie Rhoda from the Bad Seed that my family with Kelly Hatch were working that conformed to media angle, right? Give me my shoes. Give me my shoes. Okay, so Dante's view, character Dante Hick, and Mitch Viner, the egg guy. Interesting. There's awful lot of coincidence on this, where I'm standing on this street, Dante View in Lost Hills. And the guy just drove by and nodded at me like, you know, Kevin knows. We're not going to admit it, but Kevin knows. Okay, so interesting. So says the psychology community is hunting me to have me killed since 5 years old. Where does that come from? Anita Perlman, art therapist, angry at every piece of artwork I've created. Ron Perlman, orthopedic surgeon, secondary psychology degree and a psychotic murderer. Jason Perlman, urologist with a secondary psychology degree. All using these as weapons to eradicate. In the name of Kevin, we want you to have a good life. Why can't I just live my life then and have a good life? And why can't people be honest and say, I want to be your friend because I want to get to know you and not try to get dirt to use against you to eradicate you at all costs with a planetary conspiracy or conspiracy to commit murder on a planetary or U.S. base or planetary scale, because it's all across the U.S. All right, so, it's all across the world. Okay, so that's it. Okay, we're just going to do a quickie peruse here. Now this sucks because I have to edit all this, which sucks, a waste of phone space, which I'm running out of here. Okay, so one of these houses is Mitch Viner's or his family's or he's a lawyer, by the way, so there could be overlap on that. This would be, at the time, I can't tell you, the house 5003 Dantes View Drive, where the servers, this little garage on the right. Over here is where we put up a drywall and our first Signet East Services server and brought a T1 line in there. I can't tell you who lives there now or what. All I can tell you is that, and then Mitch Viner, I'm guessing, would be like right around here. So now it's interesting, the look-alike character in the movie Clerks. My love for you is like a truck berserker. Would you, and Mike Huntley's, would you like to making fuck berserker? Lost Hills, 5000, so that's 5003. Or we can say Port 53 DNS. Port 53 DNS. I'm just throwing that in there for food for thought here. Port 53 for DNS. Anyone that knows anything about computer, internet, TCP/IP traffic, and services, Port 53 is your DNS. It's your most important port traffic, and it's highly, if it's exploited, if you don't have encrypted DNS, well, you can rip right through a fucking firewall. Okay, so that being said, a park, yay. Well, either Kevin, you're crazy from these non-stop scenarios of idea of references sent your way, and I'm gonna say, you know what? One coincidence, maybe you're right. Two coincidences, maybe you're right. 5 billion coincidences per year? I don't think so. Okay, so and Brian Longbottom working with Universal Studios and Modern Video Film on all those stalking things and all the people he was paying off, and certain statements like from Alexis Moore, I spoke with your brother, you're a pathetic loser, you're crazy, you're a stalker. So did she speak with my brother or not? I don't know. However, if so, probably not, but where's the information instantly? How is the information worldwide is from my family and my brother and a lot more, right? So technically she might not have spoken with him, but she's probably getting that information like everyone else, correct? And acting off the information. Kevin's crazy, he supposedly did all these things, he's crazy, he conforms to media, he conforms to people, he conforms to Kelly Hatch. Even Debbie Woolman going, you need to admit that you're schizophrenic. Why would you walk up to a stranger and tell them you need to admit you're a schizophrenic? I mean, she didn't say it in that direct sentence. She said, well, you suffer from mental illness. Debbie, we're not friends. You suffer from mental illness. Debbie, how would you know if I suffer from mental illness? Well, you suffer, you have to admit that you suffer from a little mental illness. What mental illness do I suffer from? And she sort of like starts stuttering, and then she goes, schizophrenia. And I go, but Debbie, we've never met. I mean, we've had a total of 3 conversations that lasted 5 minutes, and most of them were like, you're not allowed to park in the courthouse to go to your court to get paperwork from the court. And like, what? And I would have to get paperwork if you weren't fucking working with the police to fucking these illegal arrests, these illegal frame jobs and setups and arrests and you name it. And right? And but the equation here of every stranger I've ever met walking up and telling me that I have to admit to mental illness labels is very strange, because I've never walked up to any stranger and said, listen, you need to admit that you rape little boys, or you need to admit that you're schizophrenic, or you need to admit that you are a criminal. And they'd be like, who the fuck, you're nuts, dude, get the fuck away from me, right? Okay. And that's sort of the base, the foundation of all my not relationships, but all interpersonal communications since 5 years old. It's just random strangers saying, you need to admit or we're going to rid you of the fucking world. And it's like, who are you? I don't know who you are. Or better yet, like that girl that followed me to Starbucks, Arnon's or something, saying that I'm a hacker and this and that. Like, you need to admit you're a hacker or we're going to rid you of the world. Well, I can't admit I'm a hacker. I don't even know who the fuck you even are, right? Okay, so, but why do you have worldwide groups with the police and waitresses from Yankee Doodles named Heather following me from place to place? And none of it makes any sense, right? Too much resources on every aspect of everything. Billions of government dollars behind, billions and billions and billions of government dollars behind everything since 5 years old. There's way too much resources behind everything, right? Okay. Give me my shoes. Give me my shoes.